Comes up a little short. It looks like he's going to try to turn up the pace just a little bit. But that is usually plays right into Ruiz's hands as he's actually quickened the pace. He uses his quickness and his awkwardness to really give Donnell Nicholson all sorts of problems. Johnny Ruiz definitely has accounted himself quite well. What appeared to be a physical kind of advantage for Nicholson has not really evolved.
I tell you, Johnny Ruiz giving up some size and, you know, some reach, but boy, he's staying inside and doing a number on Donnell Nicholson. Donnell's made it a lot closer in the last 2 rounds, but Johnny Ruiz surprisingly very, very competitive. We said it was going to be competitive, and it is. Nice right uppercut by Donnell Nicholson.
He comes back quickly trying to get some positioning in there, Ruiz, but Nicholson, since about the 4th round, has got the zeroing in a lot better. His accuracy's improved, the rhythm's improved. Although Ruiz, every time you say that, will get coming with a 1 or 2 shots. Sometimes it looks like Nicholson cannot determine exactly what kind of footwork he needs to get off certain shots. He comes in, almost looks like he tries left-handed sometimes. Kind of awkward. Trying to keep the pressure on Johnny Ruiz. They do a little dozy-do in the neutral corner. Matt Mullaney steps in there.
And I tell you, I think at this point, one of Donnell Nicholson's biggest fears is that the doctor may stop this fight. He's got 6 more rounds to go after this, and I'll tell you, he's bleeding again. That cut's getting worse. Emmanuel's going to have to do a lot of work after the 6th round to stop that bleeding, because Johnny Ruiz just keeps on coming in and going after that cut. Nice left hook to the body by Donnell Nicholson. Donnell Nicholson's starting to take control of this fight. The last 3 rounds, he looked very good.
Got the rhythm, jabs landing. Staying outside. He has a little head movement himself, which has avoided some shots by Ruiz. And the shots that Ruiz is landing are not carrying the same kind of power they did in rounds 1, 2, and 3.
Now Johnny's starting to hold on.
And Nicholson's starting to win those wars inside just on his pure power. The overhand right landing right on the top of Ruiz. That appears to be his favorite shot. He loves to turn and throw it.
Exactly. The bigger, stronger man is starting to, you know, use his will. There's no question. Johnny Ruiz is just not as busy as he was in the first 3 rounds. Seems to have slowed up considerably.
We're inside 30 seconds of round number 6. Another good round for Donnell Nicholson as he tries to get through with that big uppercut. And the accuracy of Johnny Ruiz, so sharp in rounds 1, 2, and 3, and part of 4, has really dropped off as well.
Without question.
Good combination by Nicholson as they wrestle in Ruiz's corner. Another good round for the gentleman from Chicago, rolling into Ledyard, Connecticut with a tremendous 15-1 mark. We head into the back 9 of this matchup. Ruiz and Nicholson still to come. 2 more World Championship fights, one of which will involve Roger Mayweather taking on Johnny Bizarro. That's a scheduled 12-rounder. And then, of course, the cruiserweight champion, David Izaguirre, taking on Bobby Ches for the cruiserweight title in the International Boxing Organization. Still to come here at the Foxwoods Resort Casino. Hugh Millay ringside with Harold Letterman as we look into the corner of Donnell Nicholson, and he is being tended to by the legendary Emmanuel Stewart, who's worked very, very hard on that cut into the left eye since about the 3rd round. As we mentioned, both fighters have been 10 rounds only once. We head into round number 7 with Donnell Nicholson's size, at least in the past 2 rounds, telling the tale. Let's take a look at Harold's scorecard, which is usually infallible.
Not really. You know, I think that Donnell Nicholson has evened this fight up in the last 3 rounds. Certainly, I thought that John Ruiz in the first 3 rounds with his effective aggressiveness won the first 3. And then Donnell Nicholson with his better shots, cleaner punching came on, and just about now he's got it about evened up. So I have it 57-57, 3 rounds apiece. It's anybody's fight at this point. Good competitive show.
Round number 7. Ruiz in the blue trunks, Nicholson in the white trunks with the blue trim and little spangles a la Ali. Very talented athletically is Donnell Nicholson, a former all-city player from Chicago, basketball, and got into the sport of boxing rather late, but certainly he's made up for lost time the past 4 years, making it on the 1992 U.S. Olympic team, and then actually accounting himself very well in Barcelona. And now trying to win the world title for the International Boxing Organization.
Interestingly enough, he works at the Kronk Gym with Oliver the Atomic Bull McCall, who's going to fight Lennox Lewis for the heavyweight championship of the world on September the 24th. So, you know, that's a pretty good sparring partner, to say the least. Donnell Nicholson, you know, good trainer, good sparring partner. He certainly has to be the favorite because he's got more size. And, you know, now he's starting to look like the Olympic fighter he was and the good amateur he was. But, boy, Johnny Ruiz is giving it his best shot. A lot of the power seems to have been lost in Johnny Ruiz's punches. I tell you that the snap just hasn't been there since round 4 on.
And it looks like the left eye of Johnny Ruiz is starting to cause a little bit of a problem as well.
And I'll tell you something, Donnell Nicholson's got some terrific uppercuts and a nice left hook to the body. The crowd is quieted down considerably because of the inactivity of Johnny Ruiz. I mean, it's very obvious to the crowd here that the steam seems to have gone out of Johnny Ruiz's attack.
Round number 7 scheduled for 12. IBO, nice right, snaps back the head of Nicholson. This is scheduled for 12. According to Harold, it's all even after 6 at 57. Both fighters have not really been too deep. Both fighters have been 10 rounds just one time. So most fighters at this level usually fight to 4s, 6s, and 8s, and a lot of times those fights end early. So this is really gut check time as we head into the latter half of this fight.
Donnell Nicholson's got a terrific uppercut for a big man.
Taking that right out there nicely. You said Ruiz holding on a lot more the past couple rounds. And his hands are rather low as well. Round number 7 in the books, kind of a slow-paced round. Right now we're going to check in with the two-time world champion Roger Mayweather as he readies himself for the 12-rounder coming up next. There's the Black Mamba working out. Gentleman has been around a long time. Roger Mayweather fighting 14 years as a professional with 2 world title belts, some 12 world title fights underneath on his resume as he warms up. And he'll be next here at the Foxwoods Resort Casino in Ledyard, Connecticut.
He's going to be with another speedy fighter in Johnny Bizarro.
That'll be the welterweight IBO title on the line. It'll be Roger Mayweather and Johnny Bizarro out of Erie, Pennsylvania. That is scheduled for 12 rounds, and that fight is next. We still got some fighting to do here in the heavyweight division. This for the IBO heavyweight belt is Donnell Nicholson and John Ruiz, the quiet man. And he has been rather quiet the past 2 or 3 rounds, as Donnell Nicholson has pretty much imposed his will with some very good punching, and Ruiz really feeling the effects of fighting a man 12 pounds more than he. Right.
Donnell told me that he's dedicating this fight to his father, Otis, who passed away on October 6th. And interestingly enough, today's his mother's birthday. So good birthday wishes to Dorothy Nicholson out in Portland, Oregon. Today's her birthday.
Ruiz trying to turn up the heat, trying to get a little bit of that vigor he had early in the fight back. Round number 8. This is more of a pace that Nicholson can be more effective. He has trouble throwing that right, Harold. He doesn't seem to have the technique quite down. He doesn't turn the wrist real well and looks real wild, and that left eye is wide open.
Oh, my goodness. That's what's really going to hurt him. You know, the fear that possibly the doctor could stop this fight. Without question, that cut is big.
And all Nicholson's corner can do is thank the good Lord that it's not above, because there's the swelling of it has really gotten a lot worse the past 2 rounds.
Without question. I mean, it may close. There's no doubt. When an eye swells like that, sooner or later it's going to close up. I mean, Emmanuel's going to have a hard time keeping that eye open.
Pounding on the end swell, a little coagulant. He's got the MASH unit ready there in the Nicholson corner. You hear the crowd getting into a little more.
Beautiful right hand by Johnny Ruiz.
Midway through round number 8, very, very competitive fight. Donnell Nicholson out overhand right, getting in there again on that left eye. Is Nicholson trying to dig down and get inside.
That eye is really nasty, without question. And Norman Stone and Johnny Ruiz's corner just imploring him to keep on, to jump in there, to get busy and keep working on the eye, to go to work, pick up the pace. And somehow or another, Johnny Ruiz continues to back up, something he shouldn't do.
Well, I really think that he really put a lot of pressure on early in this round, and right now it's really hurt. Norman Stone yelling to Matt Mullaney that Nicholson is thumbing Johnny Ruiz in the eye.
To me, it looks like Johnny Ruiz doesn't have a mark on him.
A slow round here thus far, after a little flurry by Ruiz early.
Another good shot by Johnny Ruiz. Johnny Ruiz is picking up the pace, starting to do what he did in the first 3 rounds.
Another quick shot in there by Ruiz as Nicholson holds on. A very good round for Johnny Ruiz.
I believe you're right. This is a good round for Johnny Ruiz. Getting very busy. I mean, he's